The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello there, and welcome to the monthly webinar we have for the Buckeye Business Builders. My name is Kent Eiler with Eiler Networking and Computing. We help facilitate this webinar. Our mission at the Buckeye Business Builders is to cultivate a dynamic and supportive business community in Northeast Ohio. We are committed to connecting local professionals, fostering valuable relationships, and providing opportunities for growth and success. Through networking, collaboration, and education, we aim to empower businesses and contribute to the economic vitality of our region. For more information about us, check out the website at bbbng.org. That's 3 B's for Buckeye Business Builders, NG for Networking Group.org. We meet in person the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month from 11:30 to 12:30 at 5224 Cobblestone Road. It's at the Northern Ohio Business Center in Sheffield Village, Ohio. Today, I'm excited to introduce Dave Jones with Hammond Cable. He's going to be talking to us about the cable TV industry from where we were to where we are today. Dave has been in the cable TV industry for about 30 years. He's been married for 23 years, and Dave is an aspiring chef and has a 20-year-old daughter that's currently majoring in finance at Akron University. Discover how the cable TV industry has evolved and what it means for today's digital world. Learn how Hammond Cable helps its clients choose the right internet speeds and services for their needs. And then afterwards, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session to answer your questions. So you'll see at the top there's a question. Throughout this presentation, just type in your questions there. And after Dave's done, we'll go through and let Dave answer those questions for you. So without further ado, Dave, take it away.
Hey, Ken, thank you so very much. I appreciate the opportunity and the time today that I get to share a little bit of my background and kind of the cable TV industry from where it was to where it is today. So I appreciate the opportunity, Ken. Thank you so very much. And I am definitely proud to be part of Buckeye Business Builders as well. So this is a great opportunity. You definitely have to come out and see us. Couple things. First off, I just want to start out. I try to my presentations normally are face-to-face because of the shock and awe of the stuff that I bring, the physical pieces that I bring, but we're going to work with it today as best we can. I usually start off with a little information about myself. Prior to me being a cable guy, I actually was a journeyman butcher before I got into cable. Went through did everything I needed to do to become a journeyman. And then the minute that I had an opportunity to transition out of that space, because I just didn't feel that it was something I wanted to continue doing, I found cable and never looked back. And I'm very thankful that I didn't look back. Over the past 30 years, I have seen so many things that have changed in the cable TV industry. I remember when we were just a system of 23 channels. Then it went to 70. Then we had to take the old analog boxes out and put digital boxes in. Then we had to go in and take the digital boxes out and go high definition. And then from high definition, now we're streaming. So can you believe in less than, actually about 20 years time, really 20 years time, we went from analog only to hooking that cable line into the back of your TV set, analog only, to then having a converter box that you could get more than 70 channels. And that went cable line into the converter box and then a line up to your TV once again. And then, of course, you had the analog remote. Then we took those out, put the digital box in its place. Notice how I didn't say high definition yet. It was a digital box in its place, same setup. And then they wanted to have high definition start to come into play. Digital went as far as it could go. And then high definition started coming on into play. So we had to go out and take all of those digital boxes out of homes and businesses and then put HD boxes in. Now here's the change. Still had a cable line going in the back of that converter box, but now we entered into the HDMI cable that went from the back of that box up into the TV, and that gave you your high definition experience and what we have today. All the cable channels that you see out there now with your converter box, if you still have one, which is rare these days, the broadcast channels are sending you information through the cable TV companies, and it goes to that box, comes to you, and you don't have to do a thing, and that's how they get a clearer picture. Is they control all of that on their end. Your TV doesn't actually control that. The common misnomer that we see in the industry, this is whenever we had converter boxes, is, well, I go into Costco or Sam's Club and I get a TV off the rack, and that TV is, the picture is so clear, it's crisp, it's clean, it's beautiful. Well, that's because they were running a DVD and nobody realized it. And that made, back then with those converter boxes, some of the channels weren't as clear, crisp, and clean as it was in the stores. Now, obviously, things have changed a whole lot now. Now we're just streaming everything. Everybody's streaming all their channels, and you have the Hulus, the Netflixes, yada, 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 all of that stuff. Okay. Well, with that, here's what you never saw in the background. My background, I started off as an installer. So I was the lowest level in the cable company. I was just that installer that came out, knocked on your home or your business door and said, hey, my name's Dave Jones. I am here with the whichever cable company I was with at the time, because there's several here in Cleveland. And I've been through all of them. And for what I did in my career was, as an installer, I went from there, and then I climbed up the ladder and went into what they call the maintenance department. That's the guys that drive around the bucket truck. And yes, it was cool. Driving that bucket truck was really cool. Everybody realized whenever you got out of that bucket truck, you got the, oh, he must be really high up on the food chain. He drives one of those trucks. I was, but I put my time in, learned a lot, understood how how distribution works. And with distribution, that gave me the knowledge that I use today in order to be able to help customers out with their internet service or any kind of TV, phone, or internet that they're looking for the cable company. Now imagine this. Now this is where the show and tell comes into place. Normally I'm physically in front of people, but we're going to do something a little bit different today. This is the cable wire, and it's a hard piece of wire. Okay, it's hardline. Up in the air, this is what you see hardline wise. It's about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Okay, now that's pretty thick. That hooks into what we call in the industry a tap. And it looks just like this up in the air. But as you can see, it's only about as big as my hand. That's it. That's how big this thing is. So it's not very big. And you're wondering, how in the world can they fit all that information in something that's just as big as the palm of my hand? Well, I can answer that question, because all your information that you're getting, that's what it looks like in the back of it. So all of that, the TV, phone, and internet are just running through this little microchip board, and it keeps on going down the line, pole to pole to pole to pole. And this actually is old school now. This is the old school stuff. The new school stuff, everybody's going fiber optic. Now, fiber optic, we're starting to get rid of this. This is old school stuff. This is all old. Okay, all old. Every ounce of this. Hardline, it's all old. Now, it's still up there in the air, of course, because it takes time to replace all this stuff out. But it's all old. Now we are transitioning to something called fiber optics, which everybody is kind of familiar with. And imagine having all your TV, phone, and internet brought to your home or your business on something that's as thin as a human hair. So we went from this to something as thin as a human hair. That's something to think about. That's how far that the television industry has progressed, and it keeps on progressing. And with fiber optic, that allows us to give better streaming service opportunities, better internet service. And if you've noticed, your converter boxes now are a thing of the past, because if you go on to Spectrum, Spectrum Breezeline, which is the old Wide Open West here in Cleveland only, in Columbus only. Wide Open West is still in other states, but just here in the Cleveland, Columbus area, it's now called Breezeline. And everything is now being transferred over to fiber for one simple reason: more speed, better continuity, stays up longer, less to maintain. For us old maintenance guys, it's less to maintain, and it's way more efficient. So those are the top 5 things. With that being said, now that allows you, whenever you go to a Spectrum Breezeline, you really don't get a converter box. You just get an app to watch. Well, with fiber optic, that allows us to be able to get you the channels that you want to watch on that app, because fiber makes it stronger, more powerful, and much more stable for you to watch that. On this old stuff, you can do it, but sometimes it might break up a little bit. And whenever it breaks up a little bit, that's what makes it not as a good experience. Fiber is coming to the Cleveland area, slow but sure. So it's just going to take time, because it does take time to build all brand new system. And that's what Spectrum has to do. That's what all the other cable companies are now working to do, is to build all that new system up there. But it does take time. But whenever you get fiber, I can honestly say you'll never go back to coax. Just getting a taste of the fiber optic experience. And Kent knows what I'm talking about. He's already shaking his head on that one. When you go fiber, yeah, don't go back. And if you have to go back, ooh, yeah, that could be, that could hurt a little. Now to transition on to what we do at Hammond Cable, we offer, I'm basically what they call a super agent. I work with all of the cable companies nationwide, not just here in Cleveland, not just in Columbus, not just in Cincinnati. I work with them all nationwide, and that allows me to bring to a business their needs for TV, phone, and internet from the cable company. Something that kind of differentiates me from you just calling up Spectrum and having one of the Spectrum representatives come out. Well, the best way I can address this is, you've heard of an insurance agent that sells State Farm. You've heard of an insurance agent that just says, we'll just use this, Jones Insurance, but they don't have a State Farm, an Allstate, whatever that's out there. That Geico, they don't have that name on their front door. That is because they have an opportunity to work with all of them, all the insurance companies. That's me. I have the ability as a super agent to work with all of the cable companies out there. In turn, that gives me the ability to be able to do things that I can help out businesses with. And with the knowledge that I have as being an old maintenance tech, and even I'm still heavily involved with the cable companies on the fiber optic side. And everything in between on the cable industry side, still to this day on the back end of things, not just dealing with cable for helping out businesses, but also still working with them and doing different projects and everything. So I still have my hands in the cookie jar, so to speak. But what I'm able to do is I am truly able to walk that business owner through step by step on what their needs are. Now, what I normally do is I will go on site with that client, or prospect actually, with that prospect, and I will look at every single thing that they have going on in their business. One thing that changes from what I do compared to a Spectrum rep is, or a WOW rep, or a Breezeline rep, or anything in between, is I'll go into either go outside where the telephone pole is, or in the back of the building where the telephone pole is, and through my engineer's eyes, I am looking at every single thing out there to know, okay, what am I really working with here? Do we really have what we need to make the customer experience the best possible that it can be, through my engineer's eyes? One thing I am not, and I'm going to make this abundantly clear, I am not a sales rep. I'm not a sales guy. I suck at sales. I'm a much better troubleshooter. So if I have a brand new business that comes to me, that's easy because then I can just set them, it's a clean slate. I can set them on the right path and get them going on the right foot from the start. If I have a business owner that already has service, well, then my job is now to troubleshoot. What's the problem? Okay, well, I have a plethora of different things I can do in order to fix this problem. And then I'm going to go out to all the cable companies that's in their specific area, mind you, that's in their specific area, and say, okay, guys, this is what I need. Give me the best price that you can give me from my client. And if you go to a regular cable company representative, they can't do that. They're only able to sell you what that the products that they have available. That's the only thing that they're allowed to sell you because that's all that they have to offer you. They do a great job. Don't get me wrong in any way, shape, and form. I have colleagues of mine that are reps, and we talk quite frequently on what they deal with on their side compared to what I deal with. And ironically, being the engineer that I am, they pick my brain, which is even more hilarious. But I love it. I really do. Behind the scenes, we're all really great friends. We all really work together because you know what? Business is business, and there is so much business out there. Everybody can get a piece of the pie. Nobody's left out. And I try to help as many people as I can because, once again, I am not a sales guy. I'm not good at trying to deal with the that sales routine thing. It's just not who I am. I'm a troubleshooter, and I'd rather come at you knowing that you're not dealing with a sales rep. You're actually dealing with the guy that's looking at the problem, analyzing it, fixing it, getting you the best price, and then getting you going and getting you installed. That's what I do best. That's what I have been doing for the past, well, I started doing this about 5 years in my tenure now, and I still continue doing this as time goes on. And what I didn't finish up, what I didn't say was when Eric Kent was talking about the 23 years of marriage. Well, very true. Now that I am an empty nester, by the way, that sucks. Those empty nesters out there that understand whenever the kids are gone, it's not as fun as it used to be. But I'm very blessed and thankful that my daughter goes Zips in Akron. Very blessed that she's doing very well in the financial industry, which in turn gives me more time now to really focus in helping customers out. And now whenever they need to meet, I can meet. Doesn't matter. Anytime, any place, anywhere. If you are not face-to-face, because I know that's a question that I get. Well, what happens if you're not in my area? How can we talk? That's easy. Google Meet. Great way to do that. And then we can have a conversation face-to-face like Kent got us set up right now. I can do that. I can have you go outside, have you tilt your phone up, and I can look at everything I need to see because I'll have you walk all the way around your business, have you walk outside so I can see everything I need to see. Then we'll discuss your needs and make sure that we get you all set up with the proper internet, phone, or TV that you need for your business. And that's about the size of it for me. I don't have a really long presentation. I just try to give you an overall aspect of what we do. And that's about all I really have for you guys. Now, if anybody has any questions, please feel free. Kent, do you have anybody that's
Yes, we
asking
do have a few questions.
I'm
So
sorry?
Dave, thank you. That was incredibly interested. Being an IT company, just knowing how much we depend on cable services and seeing those advancements, especially fiber, it's been exciting. So Dave, one of the questions that came up is, what makes you different from just calling Spectrum?
Yep, I get that one a lot. Calling Spectrum, you're only going to get the services that Spectrum can offer you. So say you walk in, rep comes in, and they give you, well, the sale of the day or the promo of the day, could be whatever it is. And they're trying to push that promo because they may have commissions or what they call spiffs in the industry that give them more money on the back end. in order to be able to push that promotion for that day. Well, here's the problem. What if that promo doesn't really work for you? What if you need more juice? But they're trying to push this because that's what the sales manager or boss wants them to do. That's fine. That's them. They have to do that. Whereas I do not. I am able to literally look at all the promos across all the different cable companies that are in the area for your specific issue. But now here's the other thing. I'm not looking at the promo. I could care less. I am looking at what's going to make your job work best for you, for your business, and everything that you need for that business to work properly. Could care less about promotions. Don't care. If that promotion works out for your business and it's the right price for you, and it will really truly work out for what you need, okay, fine. But if it's not, then we're going to have a nice long discussion on why that. Yes, I know it may be cheaper, but do you want this to fill, this to fill, this to fill, this to fill, this to fill? Well, no. Okay, then you need this, and this so that this does not happen. That's the difference between me and just a regular Spectrum sales rep, or any sales rep for that matter.
It's great information.
And one last thing. I do not do what Kent does at all. Period. Full stop. Not happening. If you guys have computer issues that need to be handled, you're looking to get to IT work, yeah, his name's Kent Eiler. He'll be happy to help you. Not me.
Thanks, Dave. So do you deal with, when it comes to the cabling, is it just commercial, or do you help with residential as well?
Here's the kicker with residential. It has to be a new service. So say you already have Spectrum in your area and you're using them for your residential streaming for Hulu, Netflix, so on and so forth. If you're running your business out of your home, then I do have to bring in another service provider to get you internet speeds for your office, your specific office. That's the only caveat to working from home that I have to work with. We can do it. We don't do it very often because nobody really wants to have two different internet services, but we can do it, and that's our way around it. That's how we do that.
Okay. One other question. You mentioned fiber. And so I know there's GPON, the Gigabit Passive Optical Network, for those of you that aren't techie, and there's DIA, which is dedicated internet access. And I know in our location where our business is, Spectrum has DIA, which for gigabit speed up and down, you're going to pay north of $1,000 a month. So pretty pricey. I know there's some providers that offer the GPON, but I don't think Spectrum does. And, depending on the location, the providers can do gigabit speeds for under $200 a month, so a significant savings. So what's the difference between those? And the other question I have is, if we only have DIA in our area now, how do we get a provider that offers GPON to our area for more affordable fiber internet?
Well, you and I actually talked about this, and I hate to tell you, it's getting subscriber base. For them to spend the money in order to be able to pull fiber into your region, they want to make sure that they have the subscribers to be able to support that cost, number one. And then number two, make sure that they have enough subscribers to stay on for a very long period of time. Now, I can tell you this, Spectrum does not have contracts. So they're just spray and pray and hope that whenever they do build out, that those customers are going to stay for a long period of time. I know that WOW at one time, before they changed to BreezeLine, WOW actually had contracts. Now, that turned a lot of people off. Me included, because I'm not a contract guy, number one. Because if I don't like your service and now I'm stuck with you for a year, you get the point. So I'm not a fan of that, but I'm also a fan of, it doesn't matter if you are a contract or not. If you do it right the first time, then there's no issues. That's the bottom line. And you're talking about the direct to customer. Well, this can actually do that, believe it or not. It all goes in the software that the cable companies use nowadays in order to be able to do that and get you that gigabit speed that they have to offer, because technically you need fiber for true gigabit speed. But with the software that they're using nowadays, they're able to get you that up to a gig, because it's always in the, that's the little thing that, fine print down below. This right here, up to whatever you're paying for speed wise. I don't care if it's 100 gig, 100 megs, don't care. This is up to that speed. This time of year, I can tell you one thing's for sure, being an engineer, knows I am not a sales rep, because a sales rep wouldn't tell you this stuff, but I will, because being an engineer, yeah, it ebbs and flows. Sometimes your speed may be high, sometimes it may be kind of low. And you'll also notice this at certain times of the day. Kids getting home from school, supper's getting ready to be cooked, and then all of a sudden, why did the internet slow down? What happened? Why did I get kicked off? That's because this right here, 1 house, 2 house, 3 house, 4 house. Okay. Or even a business, 1 house, 1 business, 2 business, another house. Everybody's sucking the same juice as everybody else. Whereas fiber, you don't have that. It's a dedicated line. And obviously fibers come down price nowadays, which is great. But that is kind of the difference. That's the inside baseball that a rep normally wouldn't really know anything about, because they're not engineers. They're not cable guys. They're sales reps. It's what they do. They look at the unit, go out, take care of the client, sell them the unit, and that's what they know. I have a great colleague of mine who happens to be a Spectrum sales rep in Cleveland. He works the Cleveland, Akron area. And whenever I got together with him over 5 years ago, and he came to my business and was asking me a bunch of questions, and I just said, okay, I'm going to tell you this. I'm an old maintenance man. What's that mean? Stuff up in the air? Yeah, I built that and maintain it. So let me teach you something. And whenever we got done with our hour-long conversation, he looked at me and he said, they don't teach us any of this. And I said, precisely. So now you're going to be able to have more sales. By the way, his sales skyrocketed after I taught him some things, just the basics. I taught him some things, and his sales have skyrocketed from that. And he's taught other people on his team the same thing I taught him. So remember, it's that relationship thing. It's all about the relationship. And reps don't know the stuff that I know, because they're just not taught. And that, I think, is a travesty. But that's why you have somebody like me, who is an agent that can work with all of them, but that has the knowledge and expertise that I have in order to help you in any situation you have on the internet, TV, phone system with the cable company. Not IT, but internet, phone, and TV. I'm trying to throw you some love here, Kent.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So fascinating information. We appreciate your time today. And so for all of you joining us, we hope that you'll join us at the Buckeye Business Builders Networking Group. Our next in-person meeting is going to be Tuesday, February 11th at 11:30 a.m. at the Northern Ohio Business Center. And our next webinar is going to be March 6th, where Cynthia Gore with Stewart Title will be answering all your questions about title services. Again, our website is bbbng.org, and you'll see all these events listed on there, along with the locations and dates and times for these meetings. So Dave, did you have one more thing you wanted to say?
Yeah, 2 things I actually forgot to put in, because I don't always, I'm looking at my notes and I just happened to look down. The most important thing, how do you get a hold of me? Imagine that. Hammond, Hammond, Cable, Cable, all together, at gmail.com. Phone number 216-202-2282. Feel free to call or text. And that's Hammond Cable at gmail.com. 216-202-2282. Feel free to call or text. Thanks, Ken.
Fantastic. And we'll have this recording out there as well, and we will try to put your contact information to reach you as well, Dave. So thank you all again for joining us. We hope to see you at a future Buckeye Business Builders Networking Group, and we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.